Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Boxes of Comics. I'm your host, Chase Higgins, and today we're going over the history of Marvel Comics. This week, I wanted to help viewers get a background on the company that helped spark the imagination of people and the creation of heroes that we know and love today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will begin right after this. Alright, so where do we start with Marvel Comics? We have to go all the way back to the very beginning in 1930. So, Marvel Comics, as everyone knows, is one of the most popular and successful comic book companies out there, like in the world. Its characters have been adapted into movies, TV shows, video games, and merchandise. And Marvel Comics has a long and storied history that dates back to the 1930s. So, the founding years were between 1939 and the 1950s. Marvel Comics began as timely publications in 1939 and was founded by Martin Goodman. The first publication was Marvel Comics #1, which released in October of 1939. It featured the Human Torch, Namor the Submariner, and during the golden age of comics, timely introduced iconic characters such as Captain America, which was created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby in 1941. And after World War II, superhero comics faced declining popularity. That's going to bring us to the Silver Age, which is about the 1960s. So, in the early 1960s, Marvel rebranded from Timely Comics to Marvel Comics. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, and others revolutionized the industry by creating a new line of superheroes. All these heroes had complex stories and personalities with relatable flaws to the readers. The Fantastic Four, introduced in 1961, the Spider-Man in 1962, the Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, the X-Men, and many more were also introduced during this era. So as you can kind of tell, that the 60s and the Silver Age of comic books is kind of where Marvel got its footing and kind of like hit the ground running and went ahead and figured out what worked and didn't work with its readers, but overall gained its popularity during the 60s. Up next, you have the expansion and the popularity of Marvel Comics, which took place during the 1970s. This was when Marvel saw significant growth and diversification in its characters and storylines. X-Men gained immense popularity by tackling new themes such as discrimination and social issues, and other successful titles emerged like the Avengers, Daredevil, and Doctor Strange. From this, the studio was able to expand its reach into television, along with the animated cartoons such as the X-Men cartoons. And you had your merchandise, so Spider-Man, Iron Man, the Avengers. That's when people were able to see that merchandise go. After that, you had the bankruptcy and the revival of Marvel Comics, which took place in the 1990s. You had the financial struggles that hit Marvel in the mid-90s due to market saturation and overproduction of comic books. This leads to bankruptcy in 1996, but they were able to, they managed to go ahead and recover by focusing on licensing deals and film adaptations, which led to the birth of the MCU in the modern era. So the modern era is the 2000s to the 2000, it says 2000s to 2010s. So Marvel Studios launched in 2008 with its first film being Iron Man, starring Robert Downey Jr. It helped kickstart the MCU, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the success of MCU films brought a resurgence in comic book popularity, with characters like Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, Nick Fury, and the Avengers all helped propel Marvel back into that pop culture spotlight. After the movies took off, Marvel continued to expand its comic universe, introducing new characters and storylines, while also adapting classic tales for modern audiences. An example of this is Kamala Khan, who's Miss Marvel and is in the MCU now. But you also have the retelling of Infinity War through pop culture, or Age of Ultron, and all of this kind of helps culminate everything that Stan Lee and Marvel Comics went ahead and tried to create. Throughout its history, Marvel Comics has continuously evolved, introducing diverse characters, exploring complex narratives, and influencing pop culture across various mediums beyond comic books, such as movies, TV shows, merchandise, and digital content. So, this is all the background and a brief history of Marvel Comics. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and share with your friends and family. Don't forget to check us out on our Instagram page at Boxes of Comics, where we also post there. And we will see you next time on Boxes of Comics.